I wanted to prove a point there because it was male dominated. And I knew that I'm that person who's not going to quit because I might not become a professional, but I might be able to carve a path for a lot of women who might be scared to get into the sport. They are not taking you seriously because they're like, of course she's going to quit after a fall. Oh, of course she's going to quit because this. When you lose money, it is a failure and you have to accept it. And will I do a restaurant again? Maybe never. I'm not very good at it. And I'd rather admit it. Watch what is important. Don't watch crap, because that crap actually is what is addictive.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Thinkly community for higher education and careers. As you all know, that this community connects students, professionals, and educators to help them learn, grow, and achieve their goals. I'm your host, Vijay Sonawane, and I'm the host of Thinkly communities for higher education and careers as well. I'm a higher education consultant, assistant student in seeking admission into the world's top 100 universities, and that too with scholarship. As you all know that Thinkly is a platform that aims to provide a great content and meaningful communities with many business leaders, journalists, and coaches. And they are the regular feature on this platform. And today we have one such personality with us. And it's really a privilege to have Reena with us. So you might have heard about serial entrepreneurs. I'm sure you likely have, right? But what about a serial careerist? Probably not. It's a new term. I'm thrilled to introduce one to you, that is Rinaa Shah, a true pioneer. Reena is celebrated as India's first female electronic percussionist, designer, hotelier, and a polo player. Her impressive career spanned music, fashion, business, and sport, reflecting her unwavering commitment to passion and excellence. Irina breaks barrier and redefines success on her own terms and inspiring many along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that you will be just as intrigued as I am to learn from this remarkable individual. She believes in the philosophy that we are given one life and we should make the most of it. So, Rina, thank you for
Hello.
joining us and welcome to Thinkly's community that of higher education and careers.
Thank you. Thank
Welcome.
you for having me over.
So, Rina, शुरू से शुरुआत करते हैं. So, please give us an insight into your background. Where
Yes.
were you born? What type of upbringing did you have? And where were you educated?
Yes. So I was born in Mumbai, and I come from a conservative Gujarati family. My upbringing and everything was all in Bombay, going to Alexandra Girls' School, and then after that to Sydenham College, doing my commerce, and in between I went to Harvard to do my C++, and I was into computers. And then after my finishing college, after that, I did a shoe designing course in New York at FIT. And of course, there was a lot that I have done and, studied. I studied my music in Amsterdam and Ibiza. I went to learn polo in Argentina, UK, and USA. So I am an avid learner, and I love, kind of learning new things and, getting my passion in a more, I would say, going to school to fulfill your passion. It gets you into a career mode. And I came from a Gujarati family, so a lot of things happened much later in my life. But my parents were very supportive. Always when I was little, they are the ones who have given me the wings and made me independent and taught me to be on my feet. Definitely from Gujarati family, so I have the business gene, which helps a little to kind of make the career into being an entrepreneur. So yeah, that's the gist.
Right. Now, I have one question, Rina, which since I was told about you, okay, I was so intrigued by many careers which you have explored in last so many years, right? You done it so successfully, right? Now, if we, yeah, sorry.
No, no, I'm just like, thank you very much.
Yeah. So, so generally, what happens is like it's a human nature that once we taste a success, we want to protect it, nurture it. We hang tight there, and we kind of settle into a comfort zone, and we try to become more secure, create more and more boundaries around it, right? However, when I look at your life, okay, despite all these successes, I don't know what, but you still went ahead, okay, and venture into unknown territories, okay? Maybe, for example, polo. We'll talk about it a little later. But I mean, my question to you is why, okay? And what keeps you on the edge? What motivates you and to take you on the next challenge? Okay, what is that you are trying to achieve?
So I think it all comes from when you were younger. And to be very honest, when I was, say, between 5 and 10, I always wanted to be an athlete. And my mom wanted me to become an actress and go into the music, dance, which is Kathak and Bharatanatyam. But I always wanted to be an athlete, which didn't happen because at that point, of course, athlete was not considered as a profession where you can actually, make money. And as a Gujarati family, they were not, they didn't take me seriously. And I also didn't know what it would take to be world famous athlete or play a sport to that level because of course there was no phones and there was less resources. So I kept it aside, and till the age of I would say 18, 19, I followed my passion of dance, which my mother started at very early age, at the age of 5. I completed my Bharatanatyam degree first, and then I completed my Kathak, and I did multiple shows around India with a lot of music. They were Gujarati music plays, but I did a lot of performances. But I knew that that was not really. I'm very thankful that she taught me because music was embedded in classical form at a very early age. So music and sports were always my love growing up. But I never got to take it to that level of my interest or what I wanted to do. And so what happened is that after I finished commerce, of course, that time fashion was another thing because I like creative forms. Any form of creativity is something that I was always. So one was that I knew what I wanted. So for me, it was more like, okay, I want this and it's not going to happen. But it was always there in me. So for me, it was not like, oh, let me just choose something random. It was more like sports was embedded. Before I went into polo, I watched. My TV is always on for sports. I only watch sports movies. I watch basketball. I mean, you name any sport, I'm happy to see. Football, baseball. But the point is that I never got to play it because at that point I was like, okay, I'm too late now. So, but my workouts were always sports based. I played squash. I played tennis, but they were more of working out. With polo, what happened is that I don't think that I tried to be professional or take it as a career because I would say, as a career professional, I did not become. I became a team owner and I started learning polo where I felt that it has given me a second chance to play such an amazing sport with horses. And yes, there was a little, I wanted to prove a point there because it was male dominated. And I knew that I'm that person who's not going to quit because I might not become a professional, but I might be able to carve a path for a lot of women who might be scared to get into the sport. Because I knew that when I took polo, I was not going to become like the best polo player. It's not possible because, of course, everybody starts very young at age. But at the same time, I just want, and music was also again a part where I'm just there, but it came to me because I became a drummer also very late, and it was a very weird way I started drumming. And from there, I knew that I wanted to play music. And I just gave it a shot and let me do the DJ course and see how I feel because music has always been my passion, maybe in different forms. So I think, I don't think these were like random choices. I think they were always there. I think universe helped me to maybe get it later, but it was aligned. because I'm a very hardworking and I'm a very determined person. It's always there back of my mind how much I love sports and music.
Okay, right. So, I mean, you talked about a lot of your passion, okay, and also like, I mean, and a profession. So, so how do you differentiate between your passion and your profession? Okay, and do you believe that they coexist harmoniously?
So let me tell you one thing, and I would say that to all the kids and everybody who are growing up, the passion is first. The reason I'm able to achieve this is because when I feel passionate about it, I don't view it as I want to make money right away or will it become profession. Like polo, I knew that so no matter how much I play, I'm not going to be paid for it because one, yes, I mean, you by the time you grow to that level where you get paid, it was not possible. So that was very passion, focused, not trying to make money because as a shoe designer, when I started at 21, was yes, I wanted to make money so that all my life I could do things out of my passion. But everything that I have done has come from passion first, put in the hard work, put in where it's going. And if you're very passionate, you will find a way to make money out of it because you truly love it. I mean, when I say passion, it's like day and night, you're only thinking about that and you're giving it your 100%. And when you do that, I think you will find an avenue. Like even in polo, because I was doing shoe designing, I started a fashion line which was based on equestrian horses and polo. And to be very honest, I made money from the fashion and I played a sport that I could play. So my point is, of course, and that's where education comes, where you're able to think, if you're able to put it that, oh, this is passion, can this become a career or can I make money out of it? And if not, am I willing to put all my effort here? Because while I was playing polo, my shoe company was going on. I did not completely shut it. But yes, there's a lot of sacrifices to be made. It was hard to balance both because 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to go for practice. After that, I have to go to work where I'm like dozing off at work. So, of course, it's hard to balance both, but I don't think it's impossible because for 10 years, I did both equally. But of course, I sacrificed a lot of my personal time and friends and, everything else.
Okay, got it. So my question again, slightly, I would like to deep dive.
Yes.
See, you started off as a shoe designer, okay?
Yes.
You became a kind of an identity. I mean, you created your own identity. You started designing it for top celebrities like Naomi
Yes.
Campbell, then maybe Kareena Kapoor, and such
Yeah.
kind of individuals, right?
Right.
Now it's very obvious that someone like me maybe okay that okay fine now I'm getting established, right? Now let
Yes.
me get into it fully, right?
Right.
And create maybe a much better identity for myself, maybe create a more better business in this
Mm.
particular line of uh, creativity, right?
Right.
But then you have done that, but it also seems that the other passions kept kind of intriguing you, and you moved from those, I mean, as a shoe designer, then you also went to polo. Now you got into polo, you again now becoming a hotelier. So what is that, is that something, what is that thrust or a quench, that is driving you?
So to be very honest, they all came without planning. I
Okay.
never, while I was in the show business, I was just watching sports, never thought I was going to play one. I never thought I was going to be a DJ. I mean, restaurant was out of, like, I never even thought while growing up that a DJ and a restaurateur was a part of my destiny. Like, I started a restaurant when it was COVID, the second COVID hit us. I had nothing to do. I'm a person who can't sit still. Like, I need to do something or the other to keep, one, to keep my balance, and one is that not to do rubbish stuff and while away my time. As I said, one life. So they all came in a point where i had I had to make a choice. Like polo came into my life when I just went to watch a game with a friend, and I loved it so much that in the beginning I just thought I'll ride horses and give it a shot. But when that happens, and how over time it becomes my passionate, where, oh my God, 6 o'clock, I don't care about anything. I want to go and sit on that horse. At that point, I'm not thinking, how far am I going to go? I'm only thinking, okay, at least I got an opportunity to play. I can ride a horse, which I never rode in my life. So I'm like, I go with that. And then I see that, do I feel passionate about it in terms of, am I willing? And then I get into it. So for me, it is always that you love something, but doesn't mean that that opportunity sometimes comes when you want it. And that has happened a lot in my life. So when it comes, I am aware that, the universe, God has sent me this because I wanted it so much that He's given me the opportunity. Now, either I see it that way, or say, oh, I'm too old and, forget it. People are making fun of me and I leave it. So that choice is my thinking. And that comes from a very, I think it's a lot of work which I have put in to think like that, to be aware of what is sent to you, which door is opening, which door is closing. I mean, I shut Rinaldi as a shoe designer only because it was just few months before COVID one. But maybe the universe had thought that, okay, maybe she needs to go to the next chapter, because if I had not closed, the 2 years would have ruined me. Because in that 2 years, nobody was buying shoes. But I am fast enough to know that maybe my time has come to close one book. And why is that other book opening is something that you have to be good at judging.
Okay. Okay. Good. So in your in your career, I think polo is also very, very significant. So let me, get into that. Uh, and of course, when we talk about polo and women, it's very unlike combination, right? It's a very male dominated kind of a category,
Yes.
right? And uh, when this thought came to you, right? Uh, that, yes, I would like to get into a polo. And so what kind of challenges did you face breaking into this particular space? Okay, and what kept you going? I've also learned in my research that you also went and lived on those farms,
Yes.
so all that. Yeah.
So when polo came, of course, I would say at least 6 months was only horse riding. I had no idea whether I was also going to make that 6 months, because twice I fell off the horse, got hurt, made me think whether I should do it, or what if I get handicapped. I mean, there are a lot of thoughts that were going in the last 6 months. But my mentor, who was teaching me, he has really pushed me and said, no, no, no. And then I was very sure that, listen, I'm not a quitter ever. So even if I don't want to do it, at least I should give it my 100%. Falling was a part of sports because I've always been in that. So I was not going to quit. But after 6 months of riding, when I was told that I'm a good rider now and that I could make it, there were no polo schools in India. So the first trip that I made was Argentina, which is the best place for polo. And I said, you know what? I will treat it as I'm going for a holiday. But I went to the polo school, lived on the farm, and they taught me, and it was so addictive that even just hitting that one ball was like, I just want to do it day and night. And that's when I knew that if I put in the work, I had to definitely put in more work than anybody else. I had to ride like 3-4 horses in the morning, 3-4 horses in the evening, 3-4 means that was my life at least for a year. Like just horses in the morning, horses in the evening, afternoon working in the factory, morning, evening, afternoon. I mean, literally 365 days has gone like that. And then I went to these schools because I could afford it that time, and say that let me go to the best school because I don't have enough time to like wait for 5 years and learn it that way. And to be very honest, because I put in so much effort and I was determined, I made it work and I worked very hard. And of course, this was very challenging because, of course, it's male dominated, but it's more male dominated in India. Abroad, there are amazing women and a lot of women playing in America and Argentina, everywhere. But India was a little tricky because, one, you needed to own horses. Then there's not proper infrastructure to help you. people don't take you seriously, which I wasn't taken in the beginning. But everybody who did not take me seriously also saw me that I put my head down, came to work, listened to them, and I worked and worked, that they have no choice but to say, oh my God, this woman is just not giving up. So for me, that was the challenging mode, because it was awkward. Because one, they're making fun of you when you're playing really badly in the beginning. And then they are not taking you seriously because they're like, of course she's going to quit after a fall. Oh, of course she's going to quit because this. And that's very natural. It's not because they had also not seen a woman who's coming with full power, putting her own team, and, kind of going to countries that they have never been to play. So they had to take me seriously. And then of course, people started respecting me and were also very proud that at least I was making the effort.
Okay,
So,
okay. Good. But I mean, my question to you is that, when you were taking up this as a passion, when a thought of, having a woman team came up.
So there was never a women's team because there was not too many, like there were not women playing. After I started playing, of course, I saw one or two women, but again, they were just, you know what I mean? I took it very seriously because I put up a team in every city. So for 10 years, I was going to Jaipur, Delhi, Jodhpur, wherever polo was happening. So for me, it was not, I knew that there is no, I would last that long to make full women's team. But the women's team that I made, where I invited the foreigner women to come here and show people that our all women's team is possible, so that they get inspired and they see. And I'm very happy that I did it, because now there are at least 4 or 5 young women who are actually playing, because it is a very intimidating sport. First of all, it's very dangerous. So I understand when parents or even my parents were like, you're putting us into a very hard this, because every time you're getting hurt, you're in bed, you have to go to physio. What kind of life is that? Why would you want to do that to your body? But I think it was more like calling those women and showing people that this exists. That and those were the women that came are tough players. So they showed everybody, where I called 200 people, made a party out of it, and showed them that, listen, this is all women's team and it can happen.
Okay. And so what is the current status of your polo team?
So right now, of course, 2 years back, I had a terrible injury where I broke all my ribs and my vertebrae. So I'm not going to say that that was very scary, because breaking all your bones at a certain age, it's very hard to recover. So I'm going to get on the horse very soon now, but I won't be playing hard games, because of course, now the doctors told me that if I get one more hit on my vertebrae, it will really be bad for me. So I have reduced it, but yes, I'm definitely going to ride, and I'm going to play games, friendly games, but I don't think I can play on that scale anymore. But I'm
Okay.
always helping. So now I have started Rinaldi under 30 to help all the young players under 30 to maybe put a team. I'm going to help them. There's also going to be a cash award from Rinaldi, which is my team, which will, inspire them, which motivates them. Because of course, polo is right now a little dying sport, because one, it's very expensive. Two, you need a lot of infrastructure, you need a lot of space. So it has, and the money that you spend, you really don't recover as quickly. So I can see that, but it is my job now that polo has given me so much. There's my time to give back. And I'm hoping that, I can help the sport in any way I can.
Oh, good. Okay, now let us turn to music, right?
Yeah.
So, art basically. I mean, you've been a classical dancer.
Yes.
Okay, you participated in so many plays, Gujarati plays, and all. Now you are a DJ, right? And now a restaurant. So, a restaurant owner. How do you manage a balance in such varied interest and careers?
So I think, as I said, polo and my shoe designing were together. So I could manage. Then COVID came, and that's when I was injured. So for me, it was like we couldn't go to the horses. We couldn't play because it was all restricted for 2 years. We couldn't, there was there was nothing that I could do. So in my first year of COVID, I had just learned DJing. So, and I just come back from Amsterdam, which was in 2019. So in 20, when I was 3 months or 4 months in the house, did not meet my parents, did not, every day I put in 2 hours to learn the DJing and play on live for people on Instagram live. And I loved it so much that people were enjoying, people were thanking me, and people were like, oh my God, I love your music. And I was like, okay, you know what? So 4 months, all I did was DJing at home and play the drums because there was nothing else I had. I couldn't ride my horses. I couldn't go to the factory. I couldn't do anything. So that you understand the circumstances certain times have made me do something which was not planned. And that's how I became a DJ. And then, of course, the second year, again, the second COVID came and I couldn't play even DJing because nobody was hiring. I was new. And that's when I opened my restaurant. So I thought I'll keep my DJ aside because every time I'm trying to do something, there's a COVID. I mean, at one point I thought we were all going to die anyways. But then the restaurant thing just came because it was Goa. I was living in Goa and the second COVID hit. And I got an opportunity because I was a wine connoisseur. And I just said, okay, I want to do, it'll be nice to have a restaurant when my factory was shut, polo was not happening. And I was just like, okay, now something I have to do. And maybe it's an opportunity and a sign. And the restaurant we ran for 1.5 years. But of course, there were a lot of music issues in Goa because of the timing, and the landlord was not being. So while in the restaurant, I started DJing more, where people were coming in my restaurant and I was playing music. So you see, like, I don't leave it till it's done. Like, it keeps coming back and forth. And I took that opportunity. And when the restaurant shut down, I took it up full time. So now I'm a full-time DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so Reena, I would like to take few questions which our audience is asking.
Yes.
All right. So Alicia wants to know that who or what are your biggest creative influences?
Influencers?
Influences. Not influencers. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, to be very honest, I get influenced with so many variety of things, right? I mean, it could be a building, like a structure of a building, and I would like, especially when I was doing shoes. I mean, things like leaves would inspire me, or like something with a clothing that would inspire me, because I like fashion, I like music, and I like sports. But while watching sports, I could be inspired to create a shoe. I mean, I'm just saying that these are the things that I don't know what is going to influence me next. But one thing I know what is constant with all these things is, one is creativity. And second, I allow myself and my mind to flow. Like, being aware is the number one thing that can influence you. I make sure that what I'm watching on my Instagram, I don't follow rubbish. I don't want to see rubbish. I only follow what inspires me from the time I wake up to the time I sleep. I condition my mind to be aware of, it could be color, it could be like, a dish which is beautifully put, and that could say, oh my God, this is done so nicely. So to be very honest, I don't think I have a particular thing that influences me. I think there's so many varied things that I let it flow and maybe capture it. So I guess I hope that answers the question.
So, but what you're trying to say is that you don't have any particular person who's your role model, right? You kind of create role models.
I would say that there were two people who I really look up to, who I haven't met, which is sad. One is Michael Jordan. He is like, no matter where I go, if I'm going to play polo, I will watch his part of his video, get fully charged, and then go play polo. Like, that man has really, really done wonders to my life, even though I haven't met him. And the other one is Oprah Winfrey, because I just love where she came from, what she did, and where she's come. It is just a beautiful journey to watch, and so much grace. And and that was when Oprah became Oprah. There was no internet, there was no mobile, and I just felt that achieve that kind of thing in that time is amazing. So these are the two people who I really look up to.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, so Yusuf wants to know that, and he's saying that I'm sure you must have taken some big risk in your career. Tell us, how did it turn out? I'm sure they all have turned out good.
No, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. So I will also talk about my failure. I really feel that the restaurant was only 1.5 years old, and I couldn't find that battle with my landlord. And I'm not saying I consider anything as a biggest failure, but what is failing is when the numbers you lose. When you lose money, it is a failure, and you have to accept it. And will I do a restaurant again? Maybe never, because it's okay. I tried it and I thought I could do it, but I'm not a chef. And they were while doing the restaurant, I did realize that I'm not very good at it, and I rather admit it than say no and like it's okay. I failed. I tried to play tennis professionally. I couldn't. So it's okay. I mean, I take it as a workout. Maybe, and I was much younger when I played tennis. Actually, there were more chances that I could have gone to a national or state level, but I didn't pursue because I wanted to make money in my 20s. Because I was like, okay, so, and also while I would say that even playing polo, where sometimes I feel, oh, I could have reached there, but I didn't. Like, I wish I was a better player. But I also realize that that isn't the failure. But yes, sometimes you consider it like that. Like today, if I become a DJ, I'm only a year old professional DJ. I mean, I can't compare myself to Martin Garrix or Fisher or anybody because they have put in 20 years of work. Will I count it as a failure? No, it depends how I view it and how much more time and where I want to go. Because of course I want to be. Everybody wants to excel in the profession they are, but sometimes you do take a wrong call, and people tell me you shouldn't have shut your show business. Like, why would you shut it after 17 years? It was making so much money. But at that point, I'm also seeing that I had no life. Forget, I could not even go to the gym. When polo came, it taught me that if work and money cannot be entirely yes, I made enough. I'm not a greedy person, so I made enough that I can live my life nicely, but also fulfill my passions. And yeah, sometimes you fail. Sometimes it's not like everything I've thought about I have achieved. No, sometimes it goes from thought and finishes in 3 months because it wasn't the right choice, or if you were not passionate enough to take it through.
Right. Very true. Okay, and one more audience. I mean, Samir wants to know that any tips for self-care, like wellness or mental health while
Oh
juggling
my
multiple
God. I mean,
roles.
that is the most important because since the age of 5, I I'm careful of what I eat. I'm aware of what I eat. Of course, indulgence happens in every thing. I always work out. I remove 1 hour every day. Either do yoga, either do Pilates, either play squash, get on the horse. It doesn't matter because these are the things. Plus, I don't abuse my body. I'm aware that if I want to play sport at a later age, if I want to continue doing this, I will have to sacrifice. So it is very important, and there is no way that you can take that away. But yes, I am very sure that one has to understand your body type. Like in the morning, I will do all my natural things. So self and mental. Now mental, when it works, I mean, today we all hear about mental health. There was nothing like that spoken years back, but I would say that was better mental health than today. I mean,
Yeah.
for me to tell the young people is that less screen time. And if you want screen time, actually, this has become a resource to learn, not to watch crap on the phone and keep going on and on. I mean, sometimes see the youngsters, they're just going right, one. I'm like, or not talking to people on dining table. I mean, the thing is, you're yourself spoiling your mental health. What you read, what you see. Like, I will always only watch a sports movie, something I take back. I'm not going to watch nonsense because honestly, I have very less time to do that. If I'm sitting, I'm working on my music. If I'm on the phone, even I want to do time pass, I'm still seeing some quotes. What is Michael Jordan saying? What has he done? Oh, this person has achieved. Let me see his story. Let me read something nice, a biography of somebody. Maybe I will learn 1 or 2 things because this is something you have to do it every day of your life. And that's when you'll realize that your mental health has nothing to do with one incident, or your boyfriend leaving you, or your girlfriend leaving you, or your mother dying, or your father dying. My point is, the mental thing you get strong only with every day. Just the way you have exercise, you have to exercise your mind. Play a word game. I mean, I do that, all that, because it makes your mind sharp. I play one Sudoku every day. Every day. So now
Oh,
this,
wow.
would I love to? I would rather sit and watch some nice movie, but I'm not. I have promised myself, like having a pill or anything. I have to do it today means I have to do it. So I'll solve it whenever I'm on the plane. If I don't have time, Sudoku is my friend. So these are the
Okay.
things that one cannot just say, I want great mental health. Whatever has happened has happened. I tell even now all my nieces and nephews, watch what is important. Don't watch crap, because that crap actually is what is addictive. So I just feel that yes, but eat right, work out, and do things that help your mental health.
Right, right, right. I mean, my for me, the takeaways are, be mindful what you're doing, what you
Yeah.
consume, right?
Yeah.
And also at the same time, be disciplined.
Discipline is number one. Now, what is discipline?
That's
Exactly. Discipline is doing something every day, conditioning your mind. Discipline, if you don't have, no matter what career you choose, no matter what,
correct.
because first is discipline. And that is why I love sports. Because the discipline that the sport has taught me since the age of 5, oh my God. Means today, I thank every day that sports is in my life. The workout is there, because that is what has kept me going for other things. Today, my discipline in sports is making me do better job at DJing. Is discipline making me to do when I'm thinking as an entrepreneur. So discipline is number one.
Right, right, right. And so there's another question, which Lavanya wants to know, that as a woman excelling in multiple fields, what advice do you have for young women pursuing diverse passions?
Of course. So I would say, of course, when you have diverse passion, my point is how I said I love music, I love dance, I love sports. The thing is at what point of your life you are, and between for passion, at that point, where are you willing to give, seeing your circumstances, seeing family matters, how much money you have. Now, if I decided to do sports when I was in 20s, I would have failed, because I didn't have my money. So I would have been dependent on my parents to fuel that. And that was not happening. That was never going to happen. So we know, okay, this is possible, this is not possible. So suppose if she has 3, 4 diverse passions right now, see what she can actually fulfill and which one is closest to the height that you are willing to fight for it. My shoe designing is what I fought for at that point, because I knew that once I succeed and made money, everybody's reaction would have changed and I would have enough money to fulfill my passion later. So I couldn't take sports, because then you're dependent on somebody else to pay your bills, to take you to the sports thing. So I get it. I wanted to be a sports athlete all my life. But till 20, I didn't have a choice, because my parents were like, no. So then I respected it. And I still went on learning because my mom said dance. So my point is, between those 3, 4 passions, see what you're willing to fight for, which will take you further. If you're young, definitely please choose something that you can make money, because it's the truth that if you have money, you can do whatever you want, the way you want. Because if you can't make money in the beginning, so imagine from 20 to 35, I didn't do anything but make money, but with my passion. I could have been a clothing designer. I could have been a jewelry designer. I even tried light designing, which I failed, which I would like to say that. But then why did I choose shoe? The reason is that 20, I did a research that there is nobody in India designing shoes. And so from the whole creativity with 5 things, I also designed hats. I did so many small, small courses to then understand shoe will make money because there is demand, but there is no supply. Now, that is why education is very important. Education makes you think whether this can succeed. If I put in X amount, what can I get back? And that's how shoe, because when you're small, nobody thinks I want to design shoes. I mean, that's the last thing that will come. Shoes is something that I love wearing shoes. Oh, I love these shoes. But who thinks of designing shoes? And that's when I said, okay, if I want to go into fashion, I want to take a niche. Like, make yourself a niche. The reason what I do, even in my music, I am playing a niche thing. That's where the supply is less. That way, you don't have to work that hard to make yourself known or to shine. I've always believed that be a leader, not a follower.
Correct. So let me ask you one more question, Reena. You talked about shoe designing. Okay. Now, even if you talk about a niche market within the shoe,
Yes.
customized shoes, okay, there's a lot of competition. There are a lot
Yes.
of big brands. Okay. So
Yes.
how do you created your own, or rather, how you have distinguished yourself as compared to those big brands, who are there in the market last 100 years, 150 years, and they're, हम बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में नामी काफी है.
Huh.
How you establish yourself in that particular space?
I'll tell you. So when I said about niche, when I started the shoe business, of course, like any other, again, my raw materials came from Italy. And because I could make any shoe with my own hands, I could teach my workers what I learned in New York. So that was my advantage. The second, of course, before me, Gucci, you name any big brands, they were all there. But what is my niche? I started customized shoes is still not a big thing because I must have dressed 6,000 brides and all the stars. Why? Because I take measurement of your feet and I create something which is comfortable and I give you customized shoes within 3 days. I can tell you right now, you can go to Gucci or you can go to Salvatore. Nobody can make a shoe for you in 3 days. Now, while you're doing your career, start thinking how can you have an upper hand in doing something that people can't. Even international brands couldn't. Of course, when I started, none of these big brands were still available in India. So I had that advantage. And when they came also, I still have the who's and who coming to me because they know, okay, Reena will give me a customized shoes with Italian raw materials, with whatever I want. I'm ready to pay whatever price. So I made that happen because I knew that unless there is a niche, I am not going to survive with the big brands. And that is how that in any field, you got to create a niche and have an upper hand every time. Think of something that will keep you going and making you shine.
Okay, good. So, Reena, let me take you back to polo because there are a couple of questions from our audience. So, Varda wants to know that, what are your thoughts on the evaluation of polo fashion over the years in India?
I really think that I'm going to take credit to change that in India and in the polo circuit because, as I said, when I entered polo, I entered as playing a game. But I already had a factory running with shoes and handbags and things I was making. And I saw that again, there was a niche where the horse lovers, the polo players didn't have top fashion when that could make a statement. So as soon as I played 1 year, the next year I did a whole fashion show which was based in Jodhpur on the polo field, showing everybody how an equestrian fashion could come, in being. I can't tell you, all over the world people have bought from me, all the horse lovers have bought from me because I saw that there is a niche where I can use my factory, I can use my creativity and create that whole segment. So I used to make boots, I used to make handbags out of one of a kind with all horse prints. I think I got sold out all the time. Like, it was so cool because people were getting something. A horse lover will always pick up something with a horse tie.
Correct.
Then, t-shirts, which I was also inspired by Ralph Lauren. So these are the things that, of course, my creative mind keeps running. And I used that, of course, why not? And I made money out of it while playing and putting money in the sport.
Right. And again, one very interesting question by Sakshi. And they said, is there any particular skill which you have learned in polo? Okay, or while you are pursuing polo, which you have applied to other areas of your life?
Oh, of course. So while I think polo was one of the most difficult things I had done, where there was so much time I'm crying and saying, why the hell I want to do is paining me so much. Like, I'm not able to get. So one, it showed me a lot of strength, which I didn't even think I had, or I had never experienced that kind of pain or difficulty where I'm crying and saying, oh my God, I'm going to lose, I'm not going to make it. And second, I'm the most impatient person. Polo has taught me patience, means the horses have taught me so much without even speaking. I mean, that is the only, like, I love also being on a horse where I don't have to use my phone. I am cut off from the world. I have peace. Like, every time now, or even earlier, every time I'm down, I'm having a bad day, I just go have a horse ride. I don't know, my mood has changed. So, in so many ways, I think polo has made me a stronger person, a patient person, a person who has, like, the horses have picked me up in so many ways. In the games that I've played, my favorite horse is still there. And every time I see her, it's like she doesn't talk, but she's talking to me. And she's like, I'm there, whenever you're down, just come, we'll go have a ride. And it's a team sport. So it taught me how to work with people together, how a teammate has to be patient, and sometimes you lose the game because of somebody else or sometimes because of me, but how collectively how one can work together and make something amazing.
Great, great. Reena, even high schoolers are the part of our
Of
community.
course.
Okay, and therefore I would like to seek your advice.
Yeah.
Okay, especially for them
Sure.
and also the early career professionals as to and who are kind of unsure about
Yeah.
multiple interests. How can they pursue it? How they can do it? See, we are in gig economy. I think things are becoming that way. So your take on that?
I mean, you mean like how one should decide their career when they're confused?
Maybe, or how can they pursue simultaneous career or a different careers like you?
Yeah, so as I said, if you are like, so by, of course, when you graduate, you're almost 19, 20. That's like you're still studying. Now, while you're studying in the last 2, 3 years, you will get more clarity as to what would you like to do, right? I mean, I can't say for everybody, but in the last 2 years before I graduated, I knew that I didn't want to become an actress. I didn't want to have a thing. I wanted to be a designer in fashion. It was not clear, but fashion was very clear. So one is that you have to wait for that clarity. And the first thing that you do, you should do it out of passion, because most likely you fail. Like, I tried light designing. I didn't like it and I wasted my money in the course. Then I did hat designing. I didn't like it, so I dropped it. Because you're not sure, you're young, you're just out. You don't know, like, okay, is this good for me or will this? But I would just say, listen to your heart and at least give it a shot, because that builds your confidence first. So first build your confidence. And so what if you fail? You will take the other one with a better stride, because you had the guts to really do what that have. See, multiple things happen much later. And that also happened much later. 21 to, as I said, that for the first 17 years, there was nothing else, but I focused only on the shoe designing because my goals are very clear. And I was succeeding and I was making money. I was famous. I'm like, at 25 years getting whatever I need, that means I made it a right choice. But of course, it came, the first 3, 4 years were also very like scared. Like, oh my God, I mean, what if I mess up this celebrity shoe? Or what if somebody writes bad about me in the paper? Or somebody, there was no Instagram and Facebook, so that was good. But I think that one needs to talk to themselves more clearly as to, suppose if you're in your high school or in college, of course, you have a little time, but every day spend some time to, like, when I want to do fashion, I would look at so many fashion magazines. I would see other designers work and say that, do you think, like, would I like this? Is that what I want to be? Do I want to like create? But what I loved, I knew one thing is I want to become creative. I had the creativity in my head. Fashion was going on for 2 years before eventually I became a shoe designer. So that first dream is very important. That how much you like it means every time I would see this, I would dress up my friends. Like, every time I wore something, people were like, dude, you style yourself so well. So I caught those things that I'm good at it. I don't know how good, but I know that my passion and people liking my sense of passion is good. So I can't just one day say I want to become a cricketer now. Like I can't, because it could happen, but polo just happened to me. You understand? I could have done cricket, and maybe I could have done better, because the 15 years of polo, or I will not say 15, 12 years I've put in polo. It has any other sport, I would have excelled. So my point is that the young ones definitely have clarity, and don't think of multiple careers from the beginning, because once you get out of school and college, it is not easy, because you have still not seen the world. You're not put. Take one step and do it right. That build that confidence, and then who knows, you'll be more confident to take that jump.
Good. So, Reena, you believe that it's one life. Okay. So, what legacy do you hope to leave behind? Okay, through your work in music, fashion, sport, business, and how would you like to be remembered?
See, my whole life, I love inspiring people. And to be very honest, I never thought about leaving legacy or something, but I always want to be remembered that, dude, she was strong and she inspired me. That, and the interviews or wherever I am now, it's about giving back and leaving, like, that if God and universe has been so kind to me and given me all the things that I wanted, I hope I can help the youngsters, help people in sports coming up, help underprivileged kids to also. I'm with Robin Hood now, so whenever they want anything with sport, they want a coach, I kind of arrange it so that their dream is fulfilled. So I just think that for me, I just want to be remembered as that somebody who was strong enough, gutsy enough to do this. Then why can't I? So yeah.
Looking back at your journey, right, so far, as to what moments or achievement stand out as the most fulfilling for you, and why they hold such a significance in your life?
Now that each one holds very different significance, because I can't compare sports to shoes, and the stages of the life. When you're between 20 and 30, there's a different stage. Between 30 and 40 is a different stage. So every stage and everything that came holds a very, very deep. Today, music holds very, very deep. But have I forgotten what I have achieved in my footwear or polo? No, because I got hurt and I can't play the sport that I used to. I have developed something else, and like the love of music, because I know what are the restrictions of that. But my point is, each one has a very different role, because if all came at a very different part of my life, when I thought I've lost everything. Like when COVID came, I was like, oh my God, my shoe business will never happen now. Everything is gone and we are going to die. And imagine I got an opportunity to open a restaurant. And for 3 months, like doing DJing from home and inspiring and entertaining people on Instagram I had never thought that ever that time would have come. Now, in those times, I could have sat and felt sorry for myself. I'm like, okay, maybe I have only 3 months to live. So let me become the best entertainer and help people to be happy in these bad times. And look where I am today, maybe because of my good heart and how I think about things. Universe also helps you. And kind of so you have to help yourself and not feel down, that even if it's your last day today, I do these things because I never want to be on my deathbed and say, oh, I could have done this and I should have done this. I'll be like, at least I tried. I'm not saying that every time it is success. I don't know where my DJ career is going to go, because I have only 1 year old. Who knows? People might hate my music, people might love my music, and there are times when I've played for 2 people, like, because nobody knows me yet. Am I going to be like, oh my God, I'm a shoe designer, I'm a polo player? No, then you be humble. So the humility also takes you far. That when you're a student no matter how much money you have, no matter how famous you are, and what a celebrity. If you're willing to be humble and learn, because education also helps you that way. Education makes you humble, and if you can't be humble enough, I don't think you can go very far.
Correct. So, Reena, when I look at your life journey, uh, what I feel is that you were always in a flow.
Yes.
Okay, despite any challenges. Okay, you just paved your way through, right? Things caused in your own journey. So while you're trying out your DJing thing currently, what is next for Reena? Is she contemplating on something else?
So you see, I don't plan ever. I've never planned it like, oh, now after this, I'll have to make something because people will be like, okay, what's next? And people ask me that all the time. My friends ask me, oh, now what are you going to do? But they don't realize that I haven't switched anything because I wanted to. It has happened because of circumstances or because of the opportunity given. Like I played polo and ran my business simultaneously. It is just that after COVID, I had to take that business call of shutting the factory. Otherwise, I would have made heavy losses. And then it was my choice to go back or move forward. I don't want to go back. There is a reason why something has shut. As I said, I keep reasoning. I don't know what is next, or I have never planned it because right now I'm in the moment, and at moment I'm a DJ, and every thought, every second from the time I wake up to sleep, I'm working on my music. If I cannot dedicate that full concentration and think of where I want to go next, then I don't think I can become a good DJ. So right now, all my focus is becoming a good DJ, and putting my songs out, playing at better festivals, creating an experience for people, making people happy. I love when I can make people dance on my music. That is the joy that I stay with and live in the moment, because if I don't enjoy my journey, the destination doesn't matter.
Okay, good, good, good. It's been more than 1 hour, Reena. We've been talking. And we can just go on, but we also have a sort
Yeah,
of a time constraint.
of
And
course.
so I would like to re-quote what you said, that we are given a one life and we should make the most of it. You are actually making
Mhm.
the most out of it, and I'm really happy for you. And I wish you all the
Thank you so
best
much.
and success and do well. Yeah, and keep
And I just want to
inspiring
tell all
all
your
of us.
viewers and your students that I'm available on Instagram. I'm available. So whenever they need to speak, they can reach out to me. And I'm happy to help them in whatever way. If sometimes it's hard for them to speak on this channel. But if anybody needs help, I'm always open, and they can message me on Instagram, and I will definitely reach out and reply.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that courtesy, Rina. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys.
It's
Thank you
been
so
a
much.
great talking to you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, viewers. So that was Rina. Please join us next time. Okay, in our next session, we again present you some more inspiring stories. Okay, thank you very much for joining.